So not only is Bernie Sanders trying to win the primary, Bernie Sanders is also, while trying to win the primary, in order to win the presidency of the United States, in order to implement his reform and put his stamp on the consciousness of the American public, in order to do that, he has to win. While he is in the process of running, meaning they're going to be running for the next 2 years, while he's in the process of running, Bernie Sanders is still making time to stop by various strikes and picket lines. It's absolutely amazing. And by the way, Bernie Sanders has allowed his campaign to unionize. So that's, if I am not mistaken, the first time that has ever taken place. He believes it. He's a true believer. But for the picket line, this is to do with the university professional and technical employees. Apparently, there's been a conflict with this union and the staff, or the university itself. UPTE, an affiliate of the Communication Workers of America, has been in talks with UCLA over wages and outsourcing issues for nearly 2 years. It was joined by members of Patient Care Union, AFSCME Local 3299, which is also currently in contract negotiations with UCLA, according to the newspaper. Take a listen to this. Personally, I love it when I like it when Sanders is at picket lines. I like to hear him. It feels natural. It feels like he's at his roots to some degree. He's essentially backing up and fighting on behalf of workers. And this is when he seems to be at his most honest. So let's hear.
What we are seeing all across this country is a war being waged against the working people of America. And the time is long overdue for the American people to stand up, to say enough is enough. While 40 million Americans live in poverty, we have massive levels of income and wealth inequality, which is immoral and economically unsustainable. Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! 3 families in America own more wealth than the bottom half of this country.
That's amazing. That is a damning indictment of our system. You know, I often look at capitalism as kind of like a tool. It's like any other tool. It's a mode of thought. And oftentimes in our, you could say, technological prowess, whether that's hands and mechanical technological prowess, or whether that's an intellectual pursuit, we still pursue it and fine-tune it, meaning the ultimate essence of the thing, the point of the thing, gets expressed in, I guess you could say, more significant detail. It's like a magnifying glass. You know, at some point, scientists get a magnifying glass, and they get
Special Counsel Robert Mueller is reportedly not recommending any additional indictments in his investigation, according to multiple reports.
Jeez. You have a magnifying glass, and then at some point, they're able to make that magnifying glass more precise, meaning you can peer further into matter. Then at some point, you get an electron microscope. At some point, you're seeing atoms themselves. Over the course of time, that magnifying glass that started off where you could only see just minor, alternate differences, becomes this thing where you're peering into the nature of reality itself. I'm saying in the same way that that magnifying glass becomes more precise, I'm saying capitalism, as it starts off, also gets more precise in the same way. I hope the allegory makes sense. I'm saying the true essence of the thing gets expressed and gets fine-tuned. In this case, the whole point is the creation of wealth. It is doing that. It is creating wealth. It is just creating that wealth for a very small section of the electorate. But Bernie Sanders, man, like I said, I feel he's at his most raw when he's at these campaign events. I assume he looks at it as a safe space. I am here with my people. I'm going to be, I'm going to go full socialist. But in this case, this is his first appearance back in California since declaring for the presidency. So, UPTE, Bernie Sanders, standing up for the workers. I'll leave it here. This one wasn't meant to be long. It was just, I try to call attention to this stuff because I want people to be aware of it. If they're striking for a reason. That reason is for people to be aware of the fact that they're striking and to draw attention to that issue. If I pass this by, I mean, I can't necessarily hit every story, but every so often when I see something, I try to flag it. I don't want to pass this by without, at the very least, trying to flag it myself, even if no one watches this video. So, I'll leave it here. Thanks all. And if you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the content through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks, everyone.